Identity. In the first reading of Existence in Black, Gordon discusses black visibility and how the identity for blacks is merely something that is located on the body. With this being said, identity is socially constructed due to the different races, which also brings us to the fact that race is also a social construct as well. As pointed out in the piece, Gordon brings up the novel Invisible Man written by Ralph Ellison. This novel focuses on a black man who remains nameless in the novel, and throughout the book, he finds himself searching for his identity in society. I too can relate to finding my own identity. Coming from the Bronx, where I am surrounded by people who are the same color as me, then coming to Oneonta, where people like myself are not as commonly found like the people I grew up around in the Bronx, where I'm from. This let me know my existence in this world and how people may view me because of my skin color. With this being said, when society forms these labels for blacks, it is hard for them to form their own identity, especially when it is always preconceived by others. But blacks aren't the only ones who suffer from this identity crisis. Asians, Latinos, Native Americans, etc. all experience the same issue. In the reading of White Normativity, we can see how the race relations in America bring about certain degrees of agency. That being of a certain group brings along certain privileges and choices which plays a part on how one may act within a social structure. As stated in the piece, whiteness brings upon a degree of individualism. This relates to the workings of famous theorists such as George Simmel, who believed that occupational specialization and membership in an array of social circles has allowed individuals to differentiate themselves from others while developing their unique personalities. With also this being said, those who belong to certain groups are able to achieve privileges and make choices, which brings us again to agency. And being a part of certain groups such as white groups, where they have a better chance to express this individualism and agency better than blacks or other groups of color. Zimmel argued that money brought upon individualism and agency, and that flexibility of money opens up greater opportunity for individuals to satisfy an expanded range of desires and needs. We can obviously say that whites are more privileged than people of color, so they are able to gain faster access to money and other assets, thus bringing upon agency. With this being said, I've realized that me belong to a subordinate group of African Americans that I am unable to receive agency, unlike the white privilege that I attend school with. The degree of agency is also seen within Marxist capitalism and alienation. Workers are alienated because they are unable to see the benefits they put into the work they make, therefore causing them not to have any benefits. Since they do not own the means of production, they are unable to move up in the socio-economic ladder, thus giving them no choice, which takes away the degree of agency. Racial and gender discrimination is a prevalent issue today in the United States. As expressed in the preceding Social Disappointment, the author discusses how for years blacks have been discriminated against. The author brings up the Rodney King beating, in which I would have to agree that it shows racial discrimination. There have been many recent incidents in which people of color are mistreated due to the color of their own skin. Gender discrimination is another ongoing issue. In the article Existence and Liberation, the author mentions how women are often exploited and mistreated. Today there is something called the glass ceiling, in which women make less money than men and have a hard time moving up in any job or corporation. We can conclude that identity, agency, and racial discrimination and gender are still prevalent and an ongoing issue in society. Thank you.